All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the third of four supporting the travel industry webinar series. I am Scott Halstead, and on behalf of the Destinations Travel and Leisure team, I want to thank you for taking the time to join us today. We understand the travel industry is dealing with many issues, so our team surveyed thousands of travel professionals to see what topics are most important to discuss. This webinar series continues every Wednesday between now and June 3rd, which is next Wednesday, at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're covering COVID-19 related topics in marketing, sales, and consumer behavior. To see the full list and a replay of the former discussions, please visit our website at thedestinationshow.com. That is thedestinationshow.com. I want to thank our partners, Austin Adventures, Jack's Facts Travel Marketing, Outdoor Writers Association of America, Travel Business Success, and Wonderful. Before we get started, let me set the stage. Our host will be discussing the psychology of tourism buyers, why they buy, and how to get more of them to choose you. All your cameras and microphones are blocked, but we encourage questions, so please use the chat box provided. Now let me introduce our speaker, Tourism Tim Warren. Tourism Tim Warren, specializing in increasing profits and arrivals, reducing expenses, and creating effective action plans for travel, tourism, hospitality, industry professionals. Tim has helped over 1,000 tourism companies, lodges, resorts, travel agencies, and destinations globally promote tourism through his consulting, live and online training, executive coaching, group coaching, online radio podcast, and tourism professional development and educational courses. Now, without further ado, it is my pleasure to welcome back to our series, Tourism Tim Warren.
Hey, thank you, Scott. Good day all from around the world. Thank you all for all the sponsors of this event, and Jeremy and your whole team for allowing me to participate again. We got a lot to cover, so we're going to jump right in and get going on this. Folks, I want to set the stage to make sure you guys, you're spending your time with us, and I really appreciate that. I want to get right to the point of you helping understand if you are in the right place. And I've got another screen over here, and so so I may be looking over here periodically, but if you're looking to increase your prospects and your bookings, especially in these tough economic times, then you are in the right place. If you're looking to convert more of your web visitors, what little is happening, if you want to get more of those people to book with you, you're in the right place. If you're wondering, this is before COVID, during COVID, or after COVID, why is it that you get a lot of website traffic, but you're not getting as many inquiries as you want or need? This is confusing stuff. You're in the right place. You're going to leave here with some tips and tools that will absolutely address these questions and give you some tools you can start using tomorrow. How about this? You know that you've got trips that are similar to maybe some of your competitors, maybe even better, but why are they getting more bookings than you? Anybody can relate to that one? What if I'm not a techie or marketing person, but I know I got to get my website working for me, and it has to generate more leads and sales? You're in the right place, because what I'm going to share with you is not about technology at all. If you're a small company and you're looking for bookings and profits, hey, we all start there, folks. This is especially important for you, because what little traffic and opportunity you have, you want to maximize that and be more efficient than ever. And the whole COVID thing has really brought that to bear. We can't afford to waste valuable traffic and leads. How about this? I mean, many of us, God willing, were doing okay before this all hit, and but we know that we want to increase our occupancy, and maybe you're spending some money in advertising, you're looking to lower your costs. You're in the right place. So as I mentioned, this is a workshop. So I urge you to turn off your email. Do not look at other programs. Get out a pen and paper, because you are going to leave with some specific tools. And it's really important that you understand what I'm going to share with you and how it applies to your business. I want to share some of the results you can look forward to and what has happened with other tour operators and travel and hoteliers and lodges and even destinations just like you. So what I want to share is really one of the aha moments that I had when my brother and I started our adventures in tourism in the early 90s. And we didn't know squat about tourism. And we were a small company and had lots of competition. But I learned what I'm going to share with you today. It's the #1 marketing and sales skill. I don't care what you are in the tourism, travel, or hospitality world. You must know and understand this if you were to survive and thrive moving forward. And this is whether you own the business, you're a career, or you're a destination, this is more valuable and more critical than ever. You cannot afford to waste your effort and your time because tourism is going to bounce back at different levels. You need to be in a position to capture some of that. So I'm going to share with you one of 9 tourism marketing secrets that I've discovered and been utilizing not only in our tour business, and I'm still in the tourism business, folks. I'm still with my brother, and I'm helping people all around the world just like you increase leads, increase profits, increase sales, and everything else. But I want to share with you number 1 of 9. And when you do this right, and I'm going to show you some examples, you could double your bookings and profit. And we're going to do it by lowering your bounce rate on your website, which is all about retention and engagement in who you are, and converting a higher percentage of those people to prospects and bookings, or prospects and arrivals. It doesn't really matter. It's all the same. People are looking for vacation options where the rebound is going to be strong. I mean, think about all of us out there. Aren't we all nuts? We can't wait to get out and do something fun and exciting. It's global. And so you've got to be in a position to capture some of that. And so what we're going to talk about, and it was let off in the title, is really, this is about psychology. And this is about how to be seen amongst the many as a trusted brand that people can look forward to, that they know that they're going to have a good time. And I'm going to show you, and that they can trust their money, their time, their safety, in their experience, and choose you. Because don't you have lots of competitors? Even if you're a destination, don't you have other cool destinations around you? Absolutely. So I'm gonna, and this #1 secret I'm gonna share, I'm gonna show you how you can generate this trust, experience, and safety in your brand in less than 10 seconds. And this applies to any and all of your tourism marketing, but it's especially important online, on your website. So, and at the end of this, as an ethical bribe, because I want you guys to stick around, because if you don't stick around and if you don't pay attention, you're not going to get this. And if you don't get it, you lose, I lose, we all lose. But if you get this and you start seeing and have these aha moments like I did and so many others, you're going to have a breakthroughs in your business. So and many of the things that I'm sharing today are from my course, Double Your Tourism Booking. I'm not going to be pitching, I'm not going to be selling, but I did want to offer a couple of things. There is a free 25-point assessment, and someone's going to have a chance to win access to my course, including some one-on-one consulting. But you got to be at the end of this, okay? And that's what that is. So let's get into it really quick. I want to share with you how I got involved with this crazy world of tourism. I always loved the outdoors, and I was pursuing an international business degree many years ago in the late and in the 80s. And my brother started thought he was going to do work for the airlines, and he started building airline hours in the airplanes, flying people down to Baja to go surfing. We lived in San Diego. We were surfer dudes. And pretty soon he was getting calls from people that he didn't know this. Oh my God, my buddy Joe went surfing with you in Baja. It sounds awesome. How can I go? And out of that, Baja Air Ventures was born. My brother thought, wow, can I get paid to do the 2 things I love the most? And that's surfing and flying. And the answer was yes. And so, but as I mentioned earlier, we didn't know squat about tourism or marketing, especially tourism or international, and we had very little resources. But I started studying what other tourism professionals were doing, and there were some really big players in Mexico tourism in the eco adventure space. And so I started watching them and noticing what they were doing in their marketing messages, and I started looking around and noticing that the same thing with other major brands. And I thought, aha, I get it. I get why certain, of all the choices out there, why are tourism consumers choosing this operator over this operator? And they have almost exact tours, same pricing, same destination. It was a big aha moment. I started going to conferences, meeting other people like my brother. We had now started to grow. They wanted help too. They were wearing way too many hats. Maybe you can relate: sales, marketing, operations, logistics, finance, and they were missing opportunities to grow their business. And so in 1995, I launched Adventure Business Consultant, focusing on doing just that, helping people plan, start, and grow the business. I'm behind in a couple of slides here, but yeah, we applied what we were learning, and Kevin's business took off, and that's when I went to these travel conferences and started meeting other people, and it's been a grand adventure since then. I want to share that I'm still involved with tourism, and this stuff works, folks. This is a picture of my brother's lodge. I'm proud to say we are still the #1 TripAdvisor specialty lodging in all of Baja California, out of about 280-ish, 290 properties in Baja California. And this was a journey. This was a process. This was very methodical. And one of the key things that helped us get there, you're going to get today. So, and here's a snapshot of that shows our #1. And this, when I took this picture, there was 255. Well, then there was before COVID 285. But I imagine some businesses are going to fail because they're not doing the marketing. So, Jose, we're gonna launch our first poll here, folks. And if technology works right, all right. So, hey, so the question is, what is your biggest website lead and sales conversion challenge? So we need you guys to vote. Click on the one that you are most that you can most resonate with. Oh, it looks like we got all 3 launched at the same time here. All right. Well, I'm not sure if this is going to work or not. Let me see if I can even vote. Yeah, you know what, folks? Apparently, we did the polls not correctly. But why don't you guys chat something in the chat window as to what is your #1 issue? Let me see here. Is it converting leads, polling?
Yeah, it looks like the answers are coming in.
Oh, they
and
are.
It looks
okay,
like
great.
converting leads to bookings is so far in the lead.
Okay, great. Yeah. So just take a quick moment, folks, and do your answer to the very first question. You know what we'll do is we'll just relaunch the poll again when we get around to what is your most trusted source of information or advertising. So folks, just put your vote in, and we're going to hurry up. We're going to close this down in about 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So what I'm seeing here is we can share the results. Let me share the results of the people that voted. Clearly, converting leads to bookings and sales is when people give you money, folks. Marketing is getting your phone to ring and your email to light up and people to visit your site. Sales is conversion. That is when you get the money or they show up at your destination. So we're going to stop sharing that, and we will relaunch the poll later on. So thank you guys for sharing in that. The good news is you're in the right place, because of all the things that you can learn how to do is how to convert more of the traffic and more of the leads, more of the inquiries that you're getting into bookings. Traffic does not matter at all if you're not converting some of those into visitors or bookings or heads and beds. So let's jump right into some harsh truths of reality of that you must absolutely be core to your marketing. #1, hey, it's all happening online. We know this is obvious, and it's, if anything, it's only getting more important. So #2, and so your website must be it's your doorway to the world. It must be one of your top marketing tools. And if it's not generating leads and ultimately bookings, you're out of business. So 2, and it's more important than ever, folks, because there are going to be businesses that are going to go out of business. But their demand is going to shift and change. But there still will be strong demand, and people are going to do travel and tourism in different ways. So why not help them choose you? #2, this is what I mentioned a moment ago, is that, and this is one of the biggest myths out there, and I hear this all the time. Wow, Tim, you know, we're doing okay, and you know, but you know, I've got this great website. I don't know squat about websites, but I had a webmaster build it. It looks really good, and you know, but we're getting a lot of traffic, but man, it's just not generating leads or sales. Can you relate? And they don't know why. They don't understand what you're about to get. And so this fallacy is that if you get all this traffic, that if you're just magically going to get bookings, it's false. And what ends up happening, especially if you're buying traffic, you're wasting your money and your time. And again, we're gonna move pretty quick here, folks. I am not the kind of guy that puts a lot of content and slides. I like just a little bit. We're just gonna move. So I want to, so you get the points and you get the system. So when you get this down, and you have a simple system. I really like systems. I like being mechanical about things, and work at building on what's proven to work. You will get. And if you focus on lead development, sales, conversion first, then when you get traffic, oh my God, magic happens. So, and I created this I call a travel website that sells. So we're going to get into that. So what is that? It's a website for no matter what sector you're in, and this includes destinations. I know there's a lot of destinations out there, and this is going to be totally applicable to you, not only your site, but what about the hundreds and hundreds of stakeholders that are within your region that need to know this and need to apply this so that you have 100, 500, 1,000 voices singing the praises about your destination. So is that you must have a site that generates leads and conversions. So and when you do this, here's some what you can look forward to is that you're gonna be more efficient, which is going to cause your advertising and marketing costs to go down. And can you spend a lot of money on pay-per-click advertising? Hell yes. So let's make it work for you. Secondly, and you're going to see this on a tour operator example I'm going to show you from Alaska. She said, wow, I can't believe it. I'm spending a lot less time answering questions and more time booking. This is awesome. And you know, at the end of the day, more time booking means more money in your pocket. So this is Doreen Toller, one of my course members from years ago. I've known her for 15, 20 years. Like us, got involved with tourism, didn't know anything about it, struggled. She was in Alaska tourism, tons of competition. Maybe you've got lots of competition too. And she started utilizing this, what I'm going to share, not only step number one, but other steps that are part of my original tourist marketing success guide. And wow, look what happened. Sales 45 up. The second year, 23% up. What was that worth to her? This was an additional 192,000 in less than 18 months. Was her website pretty? No. Did she do it website herself? Yeah. But she incorporated the psychology that I'm going to share you, and it just kept getting better and better. She just keep increasing their bookings. That's why she's such an advocate, because in fact she even said to me, Tim, it seems so simple. I can hardly believe that actually that when we first started, that it would actually make a difference. But the proof is in the pudding, folks. You look at starting seeing the numbers, and you know, she couldn't be happier. Is Doreen a high-tech person? Absolutely not. Look at here's her CRM system, a piece of paper with a date, the name of the group, what they were interested in, and just kind of how many people, any notes, and then if they booked, you write a big booked on it. She told me about this, sent me a picture. I said, oh, I gotta have this. This is awesome. Does this stuff have to be complex? Absolutely not. So let's get into this, and just to wrap up on Doreen, that after I don't know, it was 3 years, it was about $300,000 in extra business. She is a multi-7-figure business, or was before COVID, and I have no doubt that they will continue to be one of the top contenders in Alaska as things settle down here. So let's move on. So here, we're going to jump right into the solution. And folks, get your paper and pencil out right now. And this is I'm going to show you how basic and simple and how powerful this is. So this 3-part system. Number one, you do have to have some traffic. You can have all the conversion in the world, but if you haven't got any traffic, and it should be quality traffic, meaning people that are looking for what it is you're offering, you got to have some traffic. But more importantly, you've got to have people who come to your site don't leave in 10 seconds. That's what bounce rate is. I don't know how many of you have looked at your Google Analytics and looked at bounce rate. Many of us have terrible bounce rates that are 50, 60% of the people leaving in 10 seconds. You can't possibly convince them you're a great operator, a great destination if they're leaving right away. So we got to have traffic. We got to have retention, which means a lower bounce rate on your website. And 3, we have to convert a higher percentage of those people into leads and into bookings. So, and it's exponential. And I'm going to show you this on a calculator to see, so you can see the actual numbers. So when you do that, it exponentially multiplies each other. And so this is the solution and the formula. Traffic, website traffic times website retention times conversion equals these exponential increases in sales. So I created this, I thought was a pretty cool marketing and sales conversion calculator. Sorry, the trash truck's going by. Let me show you this. I kind of wanted to look at this and look at, let me see if I can move this bar across the top here to a different spot here. Oh, cool. It was blocking my view. What I did here, and we're going to be really quick on this, I wanted it to see is if we had, imagine 1,000 visitors to your site, that's look at the top row, and your bounce rate was 70%, meaning only 30% of your visitors were sticking around. And if you converted only 1% of those people and your average sales price or profit was worth $500, you'd make 3 bookings a month for worth $1,500, $18,000 a year. But look at the second row. Look if you made just slight different improvements, not in traffic, same amount of traffic. We lowered the bounce rate a huge amount of 10%, hardly anything. We increased the sales conversion rate by 0.5%. Same profit or product price. Look, we doubled our revenue for the year. Let's look at another example. Let's again, what happens if the same baseline at the top, same, but now let's look, what if we lowered our bounce rate to 40%? And meaning 60% of the people stuck around your website and only 2 out of 100 booked the same product. Now we've went from 18,000 revenue to 72,000. It gets pretty exciting. Let's look at one more here. And now if you, in this one, we didn't lower the bounce rate, we just increased the sales conversion to 3 out of 100. Is that being too aggressive? I don't think so. I think if you get 3% of the interested quality people to stick around and watch your message and be convinced you're a good choice, they're going to book with you. And look at this. Look at the difference in revenue, $90,000 increase. I like that. So let's do a quick snapshot of what causes, if bounce rate being high and lack of retention is a problem that hurts your bookings and your inquiries. Let's take a close look at that. So one of the things, and this is what's really critical right now, especially right now, is that visitors may not trust or believe not only you're a good source or authority, but now with COVID, they also need to know that they can trust and believe that you're going to practice high quality safety measures, right? We have a whole new thing that people are really afraid of, and believe me, it's going to influence their decision to visit your destination, your hotel, or go on your tour if they do not trust or believe that you're not only a good source, that you're an authority, but you're practicing safety messages. 2, what causes high conversion? People are not clear on what the hell you guys are doing, what you're offering. How many people bounce from website to website? It might be crystal clear and really fast. They need to see this. They can't find what they're looking for. Seth Godin, top marketer, says, don't make people think. Well, they're gone. And that's what contributes to a high bounce rate. Your website is not educating and entertaining. Folks, we're in a quality of life business. And our job as tourism professionals is to help enhance quality of life and to be that expert, to be that authority, and to help educate people so that they can see that we know what the heck we're talking about and that we're a good choice. Here's another one, mobile responsive. Did you know that your mobile site and how it shows up versus your desktop, maybe hopefully most of you know this, can be radically different. And some of the key pieces of information you wanted on the top of your website on your desktop are buried deep when you go mobile. It's a problem. Here's an interesting stat from a webinar I did last year for a tourism company. I found this shocking. You know, look at these percentages. People, 12 out of 50 had no contact information. There was no testimonials, and we're going to learn about social proof. Very little testimonials, and over half did not have a clear headline as to what they offered and where they offered and why someone should choose you. So let's get into some of the details of really what turns travel shoppers into buyers. And again, I want to reiterate, I just didn't make this crap up. And this is, and I use the word crap in a funny way. This is based on real psychology by social scientists, by proof in some of the top brands in the world about, well, I don't care if you're selling tourism or you're selling toothpaste or you're promoting Mongolia or Key Biscayne. Some of the psychology is the same. So we're going to launch poll number 2. Can I get some help on that, please? All right, we're going to launch poll number 2. Let's scroll down to number 2 here. Can you guys see number 2? Joe? Someone?
Yep.
All
so
right,
we're
cool.
launched here, so you guys should be able to choose question number 2. What are your most trusted sources of information and advertising when making purchasing decisions? Please rate your top 3 choices.
Right. And this is, think about it, folks. When you you're consumers, what influences you when you're out there and you're going to be making a decision on your time and your money? What is it you look to for? What do you trust? What makes a difference for you? This is super important. This gets down to the core drivers of how we spend our money and our time. And you're going to see that your choices and what helps you trust that you're making a good decision is the same of tourism buyers. So we're going to keep going here. We go 5 more seconds. Let's get some more people voting here, and then we can vote for more than one. You can do up to 3. So what is your most trusted source of information or advertising when you're going to make a purchase decision? I don't care if you're going to get pizza or you're buying a $10,000 tour. All right, let's close it up here pretty soon. 5, 4, oh, there we go. And let's share the results. Cool. All right, can you guys see this? Let's go down here. Are we sharing the results?
Sharing the results. It looks like the winner is recommendations from people I know.
Followed by consumer opinions and reviews, often online. And coming in number 3, brand sponsorship. Let's see here. Let's go. Oh, here we are down the bottom. Editorial content, newspaper, magazines, online content, and podcasts. Cool. Thank you all for participating in that. Guess what? You're just like everybody else on the planet. And I'm going to show you some results of an international study that was done on the most trusted forms of advertising and how this applies. This was done by the Nielsen Company, a global, well-respected firm, 28,000, 56 countries. Look at this. Take a close look at this, folks. This is powerful stuff. If you look at the top, trust completely, somewhat, don't trust much at all. What came in from the top? Recommendations from people I know. Number 1. 2, consumer opinions post online. Guess what? That's social media. That's testimonials. That's people sharing their stories, their images. This is these, and then the following number 3, editorial content such as newspaper articles. Now we have podcasts. Now we have YouTube channels. Now we have you can be the media, folks. So you're voting and your decision making that you apply to your own money and time. It's exactly what our consumers are doing. So look at all these other choices out here. There's a ton of other ways that people can possibly engage with your brand and places that you could spend tons of money. But if these are getting so little traction down here at the bottom, why would you want to spend time in anything but the top 3? this was one of my big aha moments, is realizing, wow, this really influenced people. And this is what they move them from shoppers to buyers. So why don't we spend all our time there and save our hassle of money and time and not waste it in the lower influencing things. It doesn't mean that they're not important, but you got to make sure that the top three are covered core to everything you do. So we're going to talk about how to tap into those three trusted forms. We're going to trusted forms of advertising. We're going to look at how you can integrate those into your marketing so that you lower your bounce rate and you increase your retention. As I mentioned earlier, this is based on social psychology. For those of you that like to read and want to understand the science behind this, I highly recommend this book, The Psychology of Persuasion and Influence by Dr. Robert Cialdini. It was a breakthrough study, and it's used by global brands everywhere to help people choose their brand. And you're going to, and I've taken it and created my own version of it that applies specifically to the travel, tourism, and hospitality industry and attractions as well. So, and this concept, if you've never heard of this word called social proof, it's the recommendations from other people, it's the testimonials, it's the reviews, it's looking for others to help guide our decision, because let's face it, we don't want to screw up and jump into something and waste our time and money. So why don't we look to other people to give their opinions, and so that it help us in our decision making. That's word of mouth. And these days, that with social media, it's word of mouth on steroids. And when you tap into this, it's unbelievably powerful. And this is not a presentation on social media. The gals from last week talked about this, but you're gonna look at some of the elements. It's not about the vehicle so much. It's about what people are sharing and how are they rating you, and how you can leverage that into the globe, out into the world. So many of you may have heard me talk about the big three before, and let me see here. I was just trying to look for the chat button. That's okay. I can't see any of that. By the way, folks, on questions, do write your questions down, but we're going to hold them to the end, okay? And I'm glad to answer all the questions that we have time for. So the big three is and people want to know this, by the way, really quick, that someone traveled before them, meaning you have experience. 2, those people, they had a good time, meaning that you run quality trips. And 3, and this is really more important than ever before now with COVID, nobody died, meaning safety is a top consideration in what you're doing. I mean, let's face it, regardless of COVID, many of us are engaged in activities or places where people can die, especially if you're in the adventure space that I've been in primarily. So communicating your safety is key. So let's help increase your lead generations and conversion rates. And so we're going to focus on trust. We're going to focus on clarity in what you offer, and you're going to be providing helpful information. These are some of the things that help increase your lead and conversion rate. And a little bit later, I'm going to give you the exact step-by-step formula that helps you create trust, clarity, and experience in 10 seconds or less. A couple other things that make a difference on whether it's your website, but it could be an email, it could be an offer that you're putting out in the internet, on social media, is calls to action. We need to inspire people to show up. I mean, why do you think I gave an ethical bribe at the beginning of this to stick around? Because I know if you do, you're going to learn something, and God willing, you apply it to your marketing, and it's going to make a difference in your life. And that's my commitment, is to help fellow tourism professionals enhance quality of life. And you can't enhance quality of life when you're not making bookings. So let's make some money, folks. So anyway, these things, calls to action, scarcity. If there's limited quantity sometimes in something, and many of us are going to have to run at reduced capacity, it actually can be a psychological driver for people to get off their fannies and to book with you. And then, of course, follow up. So let's focus on that, the big three: trust and authority. Let's talk about how to communicate that trust and authority very quickly. And as the number one results that you did yourself in your own poll, which was backed up by international polls. And guess what? Every time I've done this presentation, and some of you have probably been in this before, you get the same results. So this is not anything that was made up. It's very consistent. So number one, word of mouth is people like you. People look to see, when not only on reviews and comments and actual word of mouth, they're looking for people that they can relate to, that it looks like them, that have the same ethics, that have the same, that are like them. Word of mouth carries more power. Two, these are social media reviews are unbelievably influential and very powerful. There's more options and more places to get your happy clients singing your praise about your trip than ever before. Not only we're going to use it in these channels, but I'm going to show you how you use that on your website to leverage that word of mouth. So if they never even went to your social media channel, they're going to see instantly that, wow, look at all these people who have given this company a high rating, or this destination a 5 stars. And 3, editorial content. So number 1 was word of mouth. 2, social media reviews, which is, and then 3, the editorial content. And there's so many channels now, folks. A podcast, people who produce podcasts. I have one, Travel Business Success. My wife has one, Women's Leadership Success. We're constantly looking for guests. And guess what? There's tons of consumer travel sites out there that are looking for people just like you to talk and to share it with passion about your destination, your lodge, your rafting companies, whatever. There's so many options out there. So I realize that we spend a lot of time getting to here, but I wanted to set the foundation. So I promise step number 1, I'm going to give you the exact how to set up step number 1. So we know that we need, and what I've created is called the defining credibility statement. And the goal is to communicate the experience, quality, safety, and social proof. And it has to be in one statement, and it has to be fast. So let's remember the formula. Let's remember not only the 3 most influential things, but the 3 things that people need to know and need to know fast: your experience, your quality, and your practice safety in everything you do. So this defining credibility statement is a 2-part formula. So part 1, and this is not complex, folks, is part 1 is number of happy guests. So write down right now, think about how long have you been in business, or how many visitors you've had to your lodge, or how many visitors have visited your destination. And, let's say since you can remember, or in the last 10 years, and write that down. Okay. Number 2, how many years have you been in business? This is more applicable to if you're a private business, but there's going to be other ways that destinations can communicate this. So number 1, number of happy guests. Number 2, years in business. So it's like a math formula. You put it together, and when the results that you get helps establish trust fast. And fast is key, and effective, communicating the right things is key. So here's some examples. Over 20 years, 3,000 happy guests. Swap it around. Over 3,000 happy guests since 1999. Same thing, concise, short. Clearly, we've been around, and this is just some examples that for myself or some clients, or ones I pulled off the website, but mostly clients. Here's some other examples. You can see it's pretty straightforward. Here's one that we use with my brother, Bahar Ventures. And can you do multiple defining credibility statements? Absolutely. Since 1989, number 1 specialty lodge. We're actually all celebrating our 31st year now. Thousands of happy eco-adventure travelers. Let's take a look at what this looks like on the website. Can you guys see in the upper left-hand corner of this header sidebar? And it says since 2004, thousands of happy guests. That you'll also see on this that there's several other credibility elements on this site. Maybe some of you guys see them. We're going to come back to those. Let's look at some more examples. Joe, can you give me a heads up of where my cursor is? I'm not sure if it's showing up.
Yeah, it looks good. You're on top of the red arrow.
Cool, thank you. That's where I want to be. Great. So I want to just, here it is. Very short, very concise, boom, right there. Here's another one. Over 280,000 guests. I'm trying to get my cursor to work properly here. I don't want to turn things off. Anyway, you can see that clearly a lot of people had a good time. It doesn't say since 2008, all these guests and only 2 died. No, this is really important. In river rafting, it's more than important than ever. And then look over here, 40 years, best safety record. We created that. Why? It's true, for one, but two, we created this little icon because we know that in river rafting, a real concern people have is, am I going to die? So let's speak right to that. Let's create trust and authority, safety, boom, right like that. This is what helps get people sticking around. Certificate of Excellence, 3 years in a row. Here, why choose us? Since our founding in '74, we've safely guided over 290,000 down 3 million river miles. Do you think that communicates experience, safety, and quality in seconds? Absolutely. Is this influence people to choose you? Big time. They have tons of choices. Why not get them to choose you? Here's a rafting client of mine, over 300,000 guests connected to the river since '73. This is a video on their opening homepage. This is really becoming part of their brand. This is going to be on every major page because in river rafting, are there tons of competitors? Absolutely. Tons. And you all have got tons of competitors too. They could be down the street, over the next province, the next country. People have got choices. So the question comes up, where should I place my defining credibility statement, Tim? Above the fold, meaning this very first viewable screen. You want to, when the people come to your website, you want them to see it instantly. And ideally, you'll notice that most of those are up in the header. Why? Because that's what we see first, especially if you're on a mobile site. And I prefer the upper left-hand corner. Why? Because most Westerners, that's how they read, left to right, top to bottom, left to right. And you should also have it in the body copy. You don't have to just have it one place. This becomes the building block of marketing communication. So I know many of you may not have been around in business a long time. Excuse me. It's important that, but you bring lots of life experience to the table. You have associates, staff members who bring life experience or credentials to the table. You work with suppliers who have got experience, credentials, been around for a while. Maybe they've won awards and you work with them. You bundle your product with them. It's important that you leverage that into your defining credibility statement. So here's some examples. You want to tap into the team, the associate, the suppliers. You're not going to lie. We're not going to BS people. We have integrity here, but it's important that you put your best foot forward. And, what about awards that you have? And not just you, but the people that you work with. So here's an example. And you'll notice the key word here is over 22 years of combined sea kayaking experience. Combined, meaning you are pulling your team together, your resources together. What if you happen that one of the lodges that you're going to is an award winning? One of your guides is an EMT, certified. Think about the experience that you bring as in that sport or where you live. You got into this industry because you had a passion, expertise you're bringing to the table. So these are examples. Are there other social proof elements? Absolutely. There are at least 8 others. But we don't got time to get into those. But when you combine them together, they really work like magic. We're going to launch poll number 3 now. And do the last one, because at the end of the day, I'm really a return on investment guy. It's really important when you spend your time, your most valuable thing, your time and your money, that you make sure that you're getting some return out of it. I don't care if it's pay-per-click advertising, your time that you're spending here, professional development courses. So this last one is, think in terms of, if you were to increase your bookings, just 10%, or your destination, if you could increase economic development, just 10%. What would that be worth to you in the next year? And let's think not so much in terms of, well, you can think in terms of reduced expense of income because of COVID, or you can look back at what you've done historically, but just think about it and drop a number in there, because I want you guys to and gals to think about how much something like this could be worth to you if you were able to increase your your bookings just 10%. I mean, look at Doreen. She increased it 30, 40, and then again 50%, and it collectively kept building and building and building. I've seen this time and time and time again. So we got a few more people have voted, and just 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Let's end the poll. Let's show the results. Can you share the results, please? What do we got? Okay, so I mean, many of you, we've got almost 40% of you, $20,000 or more. But you know, even if you just increased your revenue $1,000, would it be worth it? Heck yes. But what I have found is when people start applying this and the other secrets that leverage those big 3 that you looked at right from the get-go, people can improve their bookings, even in competitive markets, 10%, 20%, 30%, or a lot more. So I want to get rid of the poll. Oh, there's our I want to get rid of that. Can you get rid of, is the poll results still being shared? I mean,
No, we should be good to go.
Okay,
We see your
cool.
screen now.
Okay, I want to move this. Just a second. I've got, shoot. Anyway, I'm seeing, it's okay. I'm seeing the poll thing is on the other side, that thing. So I promised, we're going to wrap up here and then we're going to go to QA. I promised you guys a free 25-point assessment. Check this out. We'll also be sending this out as a resource link in an email that will follow up. And I think it will be published on the replay thing, I hope. But this is a free tool, folks. Go in there, do this. It will take you 3 minutes. It's your own self-assessment and you'll instantly get a score and in about 8 key categories that builds on what we've touched upon today, and to see for yourself, how do you rate? And specifically, it's going to give you some suggestions on where you need to strengthen your website. This is a snapshot of one of the things it looks like. So let's do a quick review, and then we're going to go to a winner and some Q&A. So number 1, lowering your bounce rate, increasing your conversion is going to increase your occupancy, your booking is going to save you time, you're going to make more money, you're going to lower your marketing costs. Social proof is key to is one of the keys to convert more shoppers into buyers, and the defining credibility statement is one of those key tools that taps into the big 3. And so that was the defining credibility statement. Let's do you guys want to pull a winner from at random from the attendees? How do you guys want to do this? And then we'll do Q&A.
Yeah, we'll give us a couple minutes before the end. We'll pull the winner for you.
Okay, cool. So yeah, but just wait. It's well, we don't need to talk about that. So let's go into the question. I'm gonna I guess I should stop sharing my screen.
I get 2. I can do this for you, Tim.
Okay.
There's two good questions. When you talked about systems, Katie Hurst was saying that she loves systems also. She uses HubSpot. What for tracking clients, traffic, and follow-ups. Is HubSpot a good platform? Could you recommend any other platforms?
Absolutely. HubSpot's great, and I believe they've got a free assessment tool that will also help you look at some of your key performance indicators on actually how the mechanics of the back end of your website shows up too. Anything that helps simplify complex things, the better. And just, you know, if we focus on, they say 80% of the results is based on 20%. 20% of your effort. So let's make sure that 20% you focus on is key. So any tools that helps you track and show progress and is key. I don't have any other like HubSpot. I actually have used it and like it too. Thank you for the question.
Yeah, it's also, to your point, there is a free version that allows you to track. So it's a good way to start off.
Okay.
Also, what question comes when you were talking about profit? Is this profit or sales / revenue? So when you look,
that's a great question. Well, you can't have profit if you don't have sales and revenue. You know, I wasn't gonna get into this is not a discussion about what your expense ratio is to your income side, but you must have sales and profit and bookings before you have profits. But to add on that, what I have found, especially for people who are buying traffic, which is a great way, it's a good thing to do once you get your conversion improved, and you know what your baseline metrics are, is that it allows you to yield more money for the same amount of traffic, or more money bookings for the same amount of advertising, and therefore your profit level goes up. So this is really about being much more efficient, and these days it's more important than ever.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. We had a question from Sophia. Sophia asked, what recommendations do you have for one who is social media challenged? And Sophia, if Tim gives us a great answer, I'm sure, but if you go onto our website and you'll see last week's presentation, you'll understand. It will answer a lot of those questions for you, how to be very, very savvy with not a lot of technology background. But Tim, anything else you want to add to that?
Absolutely. Very quickly, guess what, Sophia? I too am tech challenged, and I am not a techie, but I appreciate it and love it and use it. Actually, the best type of social media that you can do is let your clients do it for you. And we didn't get into it, but that's one of the other secrets from my W Tourism Booking course, is to actually pursue reviews, and then and by just doing a great job and asking people for reviews, you will get reviews if you make it an active process. And then I like to share my ratings and my reviews on my website in a highly conspicuous place. That way our best clients are selling for us. You don't have to be posting all this stuff in the website, this left and right. It's better to let your clients post their pictures, to let them get all excited about your tours. And if you do a great job and you stay engaged with your customers, they will do, and you ask them to do it, they'll do this, and then you can leverage it into your website and all your marketing. I hope that helps.
It's actually a great point, and also supports your point of having people do recommendations for you. If they're posting photos of your destination and them having a good time, then obviously that's a case study for you. So that's a good point.
And it speaks to the number one thing on the survey you guys took this morning. What's the number one thing that influences your purchase decision? Recommendations from people that you know, or people like you. So,
all right, yeah, looks like we wrapped up our questions. Totally appreciate it. Tim, want to appreciate your time and everything you put into this presentation. It was very, very helpful, and great questions, everybody. We have 2 more minutes, I believe. I've got one comment that came in from someone who couldn't be here I wanted to share. This will just take 30 seconds, okay? So yeah, this is from a woman named Maggie with Key Culinary Tours, who's in the process of moving, said she couldn't be here, but I wanted to share her comments and her questions and give you an example of social proof that it's something that you could be using in your marketing too. She says, I was a tour director and handled not only the guide training, but also our website and social media. Can you relate to everyone, all of us wearing way too many hats? Prior to closing, which they closed down over the COVID, it says we were in our 5th season of offering food tours and historic walks and heading for a record year of bookings. There, by the way, in Sarasota, Florida. I truly feel it was not only due to building a fabulous team of tour guides, the quality of our tours, but just as importantly, the intense development of our website and social media. Our aim was more awareness of our existence and building guest confidence in booking with us. These are things I learned from working with Tim's program and reinforced other places. Gift certificate sales had doubled to over $12,000 in December 2019, and our tour sales were already up approximately 70% over the prior year, January to March. With 3 months of season, we could have had of the more season they could have had. It says, this is the key thing. It says, now more than ever, consumer confidence is what is going to drive sales. Who are they booking with? Can I trust them? What precautions are in place for my health and safety? Refund, cancellation, policy, etc. She says, transparency is everything, and I wish you all the best of luck. Stay safe, Maggie. Thank you, Maggie, for sharing that. And I think I thought it helped summarize what we were looking at today, and really what all of us face in tourism. So I really, really appreciate you. And of course, I'm available to be reached on my website, Travel Business Success, and I think they're going to share my contact information. Go for it, Scott. All right, thank you. Thanks, Tim. Yeah, and we also have our winner. We want to announce our winner of your course. Yep, it is Joe Sinisi, Sinisi. He is from Access China Tours. we will reach out. We have your email. We'll reach out to you. So congratulations. And Tim, great. Thank you again. If you have any additional questions, we're going to send a recap of today's presentation, which will have Tim's contact information in it. So feel free to reach out. Reminder, this series continues next Wednesday at 1 p.m., same exact time. It will be our last presentation, and you can see all of our past presentations, as mentioned before, on our website at thedestinationshow.com. That is thedestinationshow.com. Next week is Amir Elon. He's president and CEO of Longwoods International. He will discuss traveler sentiment and expectations in the fallout of COVID-19. Thank you, everyone. Be safe, and let's get back out there, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thanks all. Take care. Bye-bye.